We think about Ronald all the time, and Stephen and I, of course, that music that we made together with Ronald back for the transmissions from the Satellite Heart and Clouds Taste Metallic. I mean, we think about it all the time. He was amazing musician, but difficult as a human being. Part of our sacred oath, to him and his family is that we don't really speak about his life after the Flaming Lips, and so that's all I can say about that. The last concert we played with him was it awkward or tense? Not really, because I think when Ronald announced that he was going to leave, part of us was relieved because, we knew that he had been struggling, and part of us didn't really take it serious, and we were at a point where we weren't playing. We had just gotten through with 4 or 5 years of playing lots and lots of shows, and we were just getting ready to not play shows for a little while. So part of us thought, well, after he gets a break for, a month or two, he might just come back and say, oh, I'm sorry, I want to keep doing this. And we just left that open. We didn't really push it or think it was good or bad. It was like everybody was, kind of burned out at the time. And so we were like, sure, So the last concert, it was a festival. And these things are such a clusterfuck. You don't really get a lot of internal time to consider what this means. And like I said, none of us really thought that this would be the last time, part of me, by then, I'm already in my 30s and stuff, I think every show with everybody could be the last time we do anything. I'm always aware of the chaos of the world could infringe and this thing could be over. You read about that happening to groups all the time. So, part of me is thinking that every show, even now, was thinking shows before then, that this could be the last one. Who knows, But we weren't really that thinking that much about this is going to be our last show with Ronald, because you just don't really know, And there's a lot of chaos going on. You're just trying to get through it, and so, yeah, and even in the midst of what would have been, considered to be stressful times, we would always be laughing and having fun and doing stuff, and that would, in the moment, it would always be pretty great, pretty fun, and of course, playing music together was always, thrilling and joyous and all that, Well, part of it is that we didn't feel like it would be very much of a documentary if we couldn't include him. And as the more we would, sort of talk to his younger brother, who we've known really since we've known Ronald, we would start to realize, well, that's not going to be possible to include him and all that. So, yeah, I think you're right there. I think, that would be... and at the time, I don't think we were very well equipped to make a documentary. It just sort of seemed like, well, we would try, and it didn't really work, and didn't have that much of a story besides, just the very beginnings of what would be a documentary about that. So, don't know if we'll really ever do one about that. But we always include Clouds Taste Metallic. We love that record, and Stephen and I, we think about Ronald all the time. Was Hot Day the last song you recorded with him? I don't really remember. That Hot Day track was in the middle of so much stuff. I really do regret that we didn't make it a longer, better song. It was such a silly... We didn't really think we were going to be included on this thing, so we sort of just didn't really work on it that much. And in hindsight, I really wish we'd have worked on it a lot more. It's a really great part of the song, but it's not really a song. And the filmmakers were gracious enough to accept it anyway. We were just kind of confused, and we didn't really know I think we just didn't know what to do, because we didn't know if they were really going to accept it, and we didn't really want to make a whole new song. So we wouldn't do that again. But I don't really remember, you know. I don't think the last time we recorded with him felt, again, like, is this the last time? I mean, you're just in the middle of doing so many things. You don't really think about it in that way. So, you know, and even when the end is kind of there, you don't really know it's the end until really long afterwards. You say, oh, I guess that was the end, you know. So that would, none of that is really, would ever have been going on. So anyway, I'm sorry to be so evasive and so brief about the life of Ronald Jones, but that's the sacred promise that we've made to him and his family, and that's just, you know, that's the way that will always be.